Central Insight Show. I'm hoping everybody's doing well right now with all this craziness out there in the world, the coronavirus in the world, and all the craziness that goes along with that. I want to talk a little bit about it. All right. So, earlier in the year, I made a video on my personal page talking about my outlook for the year 2020. And I was basically saying I'm going to have a positive outlook, and I'm going to keep saying it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. And I said this in January, right? Now, to say, has my outlook changed at all? Well, not trying to make light of the situation at all. And I know it's affecting everybody, the whole planet. And a lot of people, some people have it worse than others. A lot of people do, actually. So I'm not trying to make light of that. Some people could say it's a really bad year. However, the outlook on it. So you're taking it all in and saying, yeah, it's a bad situation. Unfortunate, sad. But are you still going to have a positive mindset? Are you still going to have that mindset of hope, faith, knowing that times of adversity are the times where you can grow and you can learn from it? And you don't have a choice in a lot of ways. And that comes from right on down to how you prepare your food, your workouts. If you work out, and maybe that would be a beneficial thing right now to build up your immune system and lung capacity and whatnot, if you can. But to also start thinking about what if there was a shortage of food, and how would you adapt to that? Start hunting, start growing gardens like we've talked about on this show before. What about money? Because some people are out of a job, completely just out of a job. There's no work. They're talking about these car dealerships around it. They're not going to recover from it. So these people are having to sit there and think about, what am I going to do for a living? How am I going to get back out there and start making the money that I was making before all of this, before forced to shut down? And see, I talk about that all the time too, is that, things change in an instant. One day you're making all this money, you got all your food, you got all this freedom, and the next you don't. So I would never talk about somebody that's unemployed for the time being, as long as they have to, cope with not being employed. But it can happen, okay? And like I said, right now, a lot of people are forced out of jobs. You got to learn to adapt. You have to start thinking. So, in California right now, you got this kind of, from what I know so far, this volunteered quarantine type thing, where it's like limit your public, how much you go out in public, and stay inside. Don't go out unless you need to for essential things. All the gyms are shut down. They got bars, restaurants, just only takeout and stuff like that. And again, in the stores, a lot of the good stuff, the essentials, are hard to find sometimes. And I think it's probably like that throughout the world. But anyways, that's times to really learn, adapt, overcome. Talk about that's when you're introduced to your true self. Are you the type that's going to buckle and break and complain? And why does it have to be this way? Why are we going through this? Why wasn't there a heads up? Well, how come they don't have it under control? I mean, you hear it all in all. Or you're going to be in the mindset of, no, I can get through this. I don't have to be around anybody. I can build and grow, strengthen from it physically and mentally to be able to overcome. So, and plus, you don't get a lot of the details of things sometimes when it comes to the mainstream media. They're only really talking about number of sicknesses, number of cases, and a number of deaths. Unfortunately, they're not really touching on the number of people that are overcoming it, and ways to prevent it, and ways to become better if you did have it. I've seen a few people that have the coronavirus on YouTube talking about ways that they've increased their oxygen levels in their lung, or oxygen levels in general, by doing breathing exercises. So maybe there is beneficial things, and I know this a new thing that nobody really has a lot of info on, but as a journalist, as you know, you should probably be going into more detail and in depth on what kind of people are more susceptible, just details in general, anyways. So I'm hoping everybody is doing well and can look back on this in hindsight and say it was a time of strength, learning, growth, and here we are, stronger for what we had went through. That's positivity. That's looking at things saying 2020 was a bad situation and unfortunate, but we got through. We survived. Maybe for you it's a good year. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not making light of the situation at all, and I don't want anybody to get this anymore. So following the guidelines and stay healthy.